Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be with you here today. I'm Dr. Diane Nicolson. I'm the President and CEO of Amarc Resources. The last time I presented at a Kin conference remotely back in October 2024, we were speaking to the fact that we felt Amarc was the right company at the right time, and that our sole purpose was to discover, develop, and transact high-quality copper-gold mines in the province of British Columbia. We based this narrative on the fact that we have a second-to-none porphyry exploration team, and that this team has been successful in discovering, developing, and transacting copper-gold deposits, not only in British Columbia, but on the global stage. That we know our jurisdiction of British Columbia, that we have assembled 3 large copper districts, the Joy, the Duke, and the Ike, 2 of which are funded by the likes of Freeport and Boliden, and that gives us access to up to $200 million of non-share dilutive financing, and the third, the Ike, we are funding ourselves. We came in to 2024 on January the 1st, knowing that we had $17 million to spend on drilling. We actually topped out 2024, spending over $23 million and drilling over 29,000 meters of drilling. We have just started to release those results, and we've been exceptionally pleased to release the results on our new high-grade Aurora gold, copper, silver porphyry discovery at our Joy district. It is an exceptional discovery, and we'll be talking about it during this presentation. This is the usual cautionary and forward-looking statement information. A few years ago, Amarc assembled 3 large copper districts. They are the Joy, the Ike, and the Duke. They are very extensive. They range from about 500 square kilometers to over 700 square kilometers. They are 100% owned. They are all located by provincial infrastructure. And we cleaned up anything that was value destructive in these districts, such as royalties. All of these districts were acquired and assembled with transactions in mind. When we assembled these districts, we had a lower share price. It was perhaps in the range of 12 to 15 cents. And each one of these districts takes tens of millions of dollars to explore in a credible, systematic manner. And this is the manner you have to explore these large districts in order to make the discoveries like Aurora. So we invited Freeport-McMoRan in at Joy, who are arguably the premier copper producer globally, and Boliden in the Swedish mining and smelting company in on Duke. Both of those entities can earn up to a 70% interest in each of those districts by making staged investments of $110 and $90 million respectively. And together, this gave us, as I previously mentioned, up to $200 million of non-share dilutive funding. Very importantly, Amarc operates all of these programs at Joy, Duke, and also at Ike. Freeport to date at Joy has funded, to the end of last year, to December 31st, 2024, $33 million in expenditures. And the program for 2025 is currently under discussion. What this funding has allowed us to do is to complete almost 37,000 meters of drilling and do very extensive district-wide surface and airborne surveys. All of this led us into 2024, which we had dubbed our discovery year. It was dominated by drilling at Joy, and as you all are probably aware, we've made a very significant discovery, which was recently released in January, and it's the high-grade Aurora gold, copper, silver deposit. But all of this and this deposit discovery is really showing what Amarc has always said. We believe that this district has the potential to be a true mining district, and with multiple discoveries still to be made. At Duke, we invited Boliden in at the end of 2022. We signed the deal with them in late November, and within a week we were in the field drilling. Through to the end of last year, so to December 31st, 2024, Boliden has invested 20 million into Duke, and we announced in December of last year a further investment by Boliden in 2025 of 10 million. We've completed just shy with Boliden at Duke 22,000 meters of drilling. These are primarily at the Duke deposit, delineating that deposit and identifying more resource potential. One thing I'd like to stress about the Duke district is it's a couple of years behind in its exploration trajectory to that of Joy. And we have been doing over the last couple of summers with Boliden, our partners, extensive district-wide airborne and ground surveys. And we started scout drilling some of our prospective high potential copper gold targets during this last summer, and those results are still pending to be released. So far to date, we have released 13 of 40 drill holes that we have drilled across that district. And the summer drilling from last year from Duke, those scout drilling, they still have to be released. We're trying to get all of those. We're working very hard to get those drill results out here as quickly as we can in Q1. And that will be accompanied by releasing our results in drilling from our IKE project. This is one we're self-funding. We raised approximately $2 million of charity flow-through to drill the higher grade Empress deposits. These are 1 to 3% copper equivalent. And I'll be talking to this district, which is high potential also, during the course of this presentation. Many of you know that we are associated with Hunter Dickinson, and the Hunter Dickinson team has had global success in discovery, development, and successful transaction. But nowhere have we been more successful than in our home province of British Columbia. And all of that knowledge that we have about BC, not just technical, but in tax, government relationships, etc., is now being focused into Amarc. This slide, ladies and gentlemen, is a little outdated. We will be updating it shortly. Cash on hand, our JV project accounts. We know we have 10 million from Boliden this year, and we're under discussions for the program and budget with Freeport at the current time. Our corporate working capital currently stands at about $1 million. Our key shareholders, our largest shareholder is the Sutton Group. This is an entity from the Middle East. This is the entity that took out the back end of our charity flow-through financing for IKE. So, the trick with those type of financings is the back end goes into safe hands. This entity has invested in Amarc for many years and in many other Hunter Dickinson associated companies. Bob Dickinson is the founder of Hunter Dickinson and the executive chair of Amarc, is the second largest shareholder, followed by Sun Valley Gold, and the management headed up by myself. This is the team that I have the pleasure to head up. Both Bob and Mark Rabagliati, our chief geologist, have been to the Mining Hall of Fame for their discovery, development, and transaction successes, mainly in the copper gold space. The Dr. Jim Oliver and Jim Lang, they are two exceptional exploration geologists, and we're very lucky to have them in the team. And Charlie Gregg is also an advisor to Amarc. Now, Charlie led up a tremendous effort in GT Gold in discovering the Tatoga deposit, a big copper gold porphyry system in the Golden Triangle of northern BC that was transacted in 2021 to Newmont for approximately $450 million. When I first moved up to Canada from South America, there weren't so many large producers in British Columbia. And British Columbia was more known for moderate grade porphyry deposits. But with the discovery of the higher grade at the Red Chris mine and at the exceptional Galore deposit, these are world-class deposits in my opinion. The sentiment towards BC has changed. This has also been driven by political risk. elsewhere in the world. And we now have a lot of the majors, both on the gold side and on the copper side, exploring for these big porphyry copper golds in the province of British Columbia. So just to recap there, we have a great team. We know our jurisdiction. We've assembled 3 great districts. And this is where the districts are located. We have the Joy, the Duke, and the Ike that you can see on this map. And we're going to take a look now at each one of these districts in turn. So we're going to start with the Joy. This is located in southern northern British Columbia. There are 3 things I want to point out on this slide. One of which is that the Joy district and hence the Aurora discovery, our tenure is adjacent to that to the south of Centerra. And you can the Centerra copper gold district, mining district, includes the Kinvestor South mine that has been mined out by a company called Northgate in the past. And members of the Amarc team actually discovered, developed, and transacted that deposit a number of years ago. What this gives our team is a great deal of local knowledge, which is brought into the Joy district. There are, in fact, 9 known porphyries in this area of BC, known as the Tutagon, and our team have worked on all 9 of those porphyries. We also have infrastructure in terms of mainline forestry roads and power into the Kinvestor Mining District and roads right into the district of Joy. But one of the most important things on this slide is this blue arched arrow. You can see it's emanating from the northwest of British Columbia in an area called the Golden Triangle, which hosts 2 world-class deposits, which I mentioned, Red Chris and Galore, and also many other good deposits. Now, these deposits are hosted in 200-million-year-old rocks, and these rocks are not confined to the northwest of British Columbia. They actually arch round northern BC, as shown by this schematic blue arrow, and they pass down through our Joy district. So we actually have the right rocks, which is really important. This next slide, the blue line, shows the outline of our approximately 500 square kilometers of tenure. And what is represented on this slide in the colors, these are the results of our ground-induced polarization, or IP, the chargeability component of geophysics. And this type of geophysics, it's widely used around the world successfully in porphyry exploration. What you need to know about this is these bright colors in the pinks and the reds. These are sulfide systems. And this district, and one of the reasons Freeport is interested in this, is we just don't have 1 or 2 sulfide systems. We're developing trends of sulfide systems that we know are actually pregnant with copper. We were out on this property drilling several of these targets, in fact, 7 of them, before we went up late in the season in 2024 to drill at the Northwest Gossan and made the Aurora discovery. The decision to go to Northwest Gossan was, in fact, just a logistical decision. And we were out drilling, for example, earlier on in the season, the historical Pine deposit, which we've expanded from 600 meters to around 600 to 900 meters to 1.6 kilometers in strike length. We were out further drilling the canyon target, you can see there, which is a 5 square kilometer target. We made a discovery there the other year, copper gold, and we were looking to expand that. And then, for example, we were drilling at the very significant 9 square kilometer Twins target, looking to make a discovery there also, because we had indications that we were close to a porphyry system. Where we ended up last was, as I say, was at the Northwest Gossan and the Aurora deposit. Just again to recap with folks why, and explain a little bit why Freeport are interested in this district, is that porphyries tend to cluster along trends. And this is a slide taken from Newcrest, now Newmont, a few years back. And it shows the Cadia copper gold porphyry trend in Eastern Australia and that of Red Chris in northern BC. And it just illustrates to everybody how these porphyries occur in clusters along trends. And this is what Freeport, as a premier copper producer globally, are after. They're not after one of these deposits. but they're after developing a true mining district with Amarc. So to go on to our discovery, this is what the Northwest Gossan target looks like that hosts the Aurora discovery. It's a significant area, about 5 to 7 square kilometers of Gossan. And unbelievably to us, this Gossanous area had never, ever been drill tested. So we had our crews in, we did ground and airborne surveys, and then we went out and drilled this year a number of drill holes into this area. Our discovery drill hole was hole 57. As soon as we hit on hole 57, we hurried the 2 other drill rigs across to this target. And on January 17th, we released the 7 drill holes shown on B prime, and followed up on January the 20th by another 6 drill holes on A prime section shown here. So this is where the Aurora discovery sits within our IP chargeability anomaly. This IP chargeability anomaly is 4 square kilometers. It is underexplored, and there is still a lot of work to be done in this target area. Zooming into our discovery, this is a plan of our drill holes that we've released to date along the 2 sections. You can see that we have already 600 meters of width, and on those 2 sections, it is open to expansion. We have another 7 drill holes to release, and we're going to be getting those out to you as soon as possible. We're going to go to the section that we released first on the 17th of January. Now, there are a number of things here that are exceptional about this discovery. One, it comes in from at or near surface. The deposit, as we understand it today, and this may change with further drilling, is flat-lying. The third thing that's very important is its high-grade nature. The gold grades are high for a porphyry, and it is accompanied by strong copper and strong silver, which gives us in the range of 1 to 3% copper equivalent, as you can see on these intercepts. But it is also the continuity in the grade in both a vertical and lateral extent. And in every news release we're putting out intervals at the back of the news releases that show you, ladies and gentlemen, how every single sample hits. So the gold is going 1 gram, 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram, all the way up to 8 grams. Every single sample is hitting. Just to flip back up through the presentation, this is the second section that we put out. And again, it corroborated everything that we saw in the first section. The hole on the western side of this section, 77, we ended it in mineralization. That's not by choice. We had some technical difficulties with the hole. We were right at the end of the season. When we were drilling these drill holes, we had to pull off in mid-October from drilling because the commercial camp we were staying at had to winterize for the winter months. So it's a great discovery. It has really caused us to go back and reevaluate everything in our Joy district. And this is for us, really, this is like the beginning of the true exploration phase within our Joy district. And again, we've got another 7 holes, which we'll be getting out to you as soon as possible on the Aurora discovery, and another 20 drill holes from targets across the Joy district, which will come out in Q1 also. So I'm going to move on now to our Duke district. Our Duke district is located in central BC. It is serviced by good infrastructure in terms of road, rail, and power. It is 700 square kilometers. The tenure is shown here. This district, the Duke district, resides within what's known as the Babine Porphyry Copper Gold District. It's one of the most prolific copper gold districts in the province, and it houses the past producers of Noranda in the Grand Isle and Bell mines, and the advanced stage development project of Morrison. This district is anchored on the known deposit, the historical deposit of Duke. We've been out there with our partners Boliden, drilling this deposit, doing delineation drilling and identifying more resources. This is what the landscape looks like at the Duke district. It is flat to gently undulating. It's a big forestry area, lots of clear cuts. We stay at forestry camps. The objective of this, showing you this slide, is just to show you that this infrastructure allows us to concentrate all of our exploration dollars into our drilling and discovery efforts. Very briefly, this is the Duke deposit. This is our IP chargeability again, and this is the area where we've been focusing our drilling. The deposit, as it stands, is a moderate grade copper, moly, silver deposit. We still have resource potential there to drill off. This may not be a deposit where you start mining within a mining district, but it is very valuable and would be a very valuable member of a mining district. This is a cross-section through the deposit. Copper is red, moly is blue, just to show you that the mineralization comes in at surface. It extends to 600 meters depth, and it is open to expansion. This slide is showing us our whole of our tenure. Again, it's over 700 square kilometers. It's 90 kilometers north to south. And as I previously mentioned, we've been out over the last 2 summers with our partners Boliden doing very extensive ground and airborne surveys. And we're starting to build up this pipeline of deposit targets to do scout drilling on. We went out this year, we did some 22 scout drill holes, and those are going to be released. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I stress to you, Amarc does very credible, systematic exploration. These are big districts. We have to have patience, and we are a couple of years behind on our exploration trajectory at the Duke district compared to the Joy. So to move on to our final district, this is the Ike district. This is located in southern British Columbia, which is the heartland for copper production in Canada. It has the big Gibraltar mine in the north of this figure, and the likes of Valley and New Afton in the south. Our Ike district is located on the western side of this area, and it's anchored on 2 deposits, the Ike copper, moly, silver porphyry deposit, which Amarc discovered, and the historical Empress deposit, which will be the focus of discussion in this section. There is very good infrastructure here in terms of road, rail, and hydro. There is hydropower scheme within about 20 kilometers of our tenure, which is responsible for about 6% of the province's output. Also proximal to Empress and Ike, you can see the Braylorn mine, which was recently permitted to go back into production by Talisker, which is related to the Osisko group. This is what the terrain looks like at Ike. We're on the eastern edge of the Coast Range. You can see the interior plateau in the upper part of this slide, and the blue in the very top is obviously the skyline. In the foreground, we have our big copper, moly, silver Ike discovery. We've put 26 long drill holes into this. They're about 800 meters long. We know we have moderate grade copper, moly, silver coming in from surface over 1 by 1.2 kilometers by about 800 meters vertical depth. It is open to expansion. We would like to get in there and drill off a resource and perhaps do a PEA. But where we have chosen to direct our efforts at the moment is to the Empress and Empress East deposits, and these are higher grade replacement style deposits. This is just a quick cross section through our actual Ike deposit within the Ike district, just to show you the continuity of grade. Red is copper, moly is blue, and that is open to expansion. Moving on to where we concentrated our efforts this year, this slide shows you in the bottom part of the slide, or the southern part of the slide, the Ike deposit, and it is hosted within the Coastal Plutonic Complex, or CPC. As you move north to that bright blue line, which marks the contact zone between the CPC, the intrusive bodies, and the volcanics into which it intruded. All the systems become more gold enriched. And Empress East, these are high grade or higher grade copper gold historical deposits. Why were we interested in these deposits? Well, this slide actually shows you the slide. Just to mention one interval, we've got an interval here just shy of 80 meters, almost 1% copper. Gold is about 1.5 grams to a couple of grams. You've got silver, you've got moly, and at reasonable recoveries, which we've calculated based on data from producing mines in advanced stage development projects. There's no metallurgy done to date on this area. We get a copper equivalence of about 1 to 3%. So zooming in on the Empress East area, the hole shown here with the red bars, which represent copper, and the yellow bars, which represent gold, is all historical drilling. So this was done before Amarc. And you can see there the Empress and the Empress East deposits. We're pretty confident we can expand those deposits internally and laterally. But you see a gap area in the middle. This is a 1 kilometer gap or more, where there are some short historical drill holes and one longer one. And they are telling us that these two historical deposits could join up. We went out this year and we spent some time looking at the historical drill core, restudying it, relogging it, reassaying it, because it is free information. And we wanted that information in order to inform our drilling. Those assay results from that reassaying efforts of the old drill core will be released here shortly, along with the 9 hit drill holes we managed to get in. We actually got, ladies and gentlemen, to our drilling a bit late in the season, and we were beaten out by weather towards the end of November. But we did get 9 drill holes into the Empress and the Empress East. The approximate positions of those are shown by those thick black lines. We really wanted to get out this last year and drill the Empress Gap. Unfortunately, the end of the season beat us to that. But we hope to be back out there in 2025, continuing our drilling efforts. So a lot of news also to come out of the Ike district, and in particular the drilling we've been doing at the Empress on the higher grade replacement Empress East historical deposits. So just to summarize here, I mean, it's been a terrific year for the team. It was a long year. We were out in the field in mid-January until the end of November. But the team did an exceptional job. Again, we have a second to none porphyry exploration team in Western Canada. We know our jurisdiction. We're in copper with gold. We are fully financed on Joy and Duke by the likes of Freeport and Boliden. And at the current time, we have no necessity to do any form of fundraising. So, ladies and gentlemen, there'll be a lot of news still flowing out in Q1, in the remainder of Q1, from Joy, Duke, and Ike. Again, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you for Kin for organising this conference.